Hey Nessa,
What?
we haven't really reviewed any old TV shows since we started.
I guess not.
Also, did you know that Hey Arnold is finally getting the Jungle movie to finish off the series?
Yeah, and I know just the episode we should talk about too.
Actually, I have a really good idea.
Alrighty. Are you gonna tell me?
Just go along with it, you'll catch on fast. In the lifespan of a cartoon, there are moments that leave us just wanting more.
And moments that make us say, what the fuck?
And that's what we're here to show you. This is JellyBonez' best and worst episodes. This is our personal list and opinions, but feel free to leave a comment below and tell us what you think should be on this list or what we should do next time. Anyway, let's get started.
Prepare to evaluate your miserable childhood.
So I'm sure it wouldn't surprise anyone if I said that Hey Arnold is probably one of my favorite cartoons ever.
Aside from the early times of Spongebob, Hey Arnold is probably my #1 favorite show.
Yeah, and because of that and the new movie being announced, I felt we should start off our new segment by celebrating this awesome show. 2 rules though. The first is no holiday specials. Since they're tied to a certain theme, we don't want to have to consider them real episodes because honestly they're not. No matter how bad
Or really good.
they really are. Rule number 2, the season must be completed. The show must have a full season before we even consider talking about it on this segment. No ongoing, continuing, or new shows, simply because we can't evaluate how good an episode will be if there's possibly a better one coming up. Other than that, I think we're good.
Then stop talking and tell them about the best episode like the fucking script says.
So, Nessa, what do you think makes for a good TV show? Art? Animation?
Well, a good show is nothing without good characters.
Right. And during the course of this first season, there's one episode that really stood out just for that reason.
And how they could make us care about a character that we probably never see again.
Hey! Get back here, you little weasel! Nobody touches my stoop!
Yes, it's the episode that single-handedly saved the 90s nicktoons and spawned a revival for them.
And gave us an iconic and yet annoying chant we will remember until the day we die.
Keep your eyes off my stoop, old man!
This episode centers around Arnold trying to get his football back from the neighborhood bully and future junkie, Stoop Kid.
Given his name because of how protective he is of his stoop, all the other people in the neighborhood know and fear Stoop Kid.
Like, what even is a stoop? I don't even think I've ever seen one in my neighborhood or in my life in general.
I'm more concerned that his ass is literally blocking the entrance to this place. It looks like an apartment. Like, do all the other people just have to fight their way past him in the morning or what?
According to Gerald, one of the very oddly shaped head kids in this neighborhood, Stoop Kid was left on the stoop. Alone. He was raised by the stoop. But nothing. There's nothing to this guy. No parents, no home. He doesn't even have a name. He's basically this one sociopath that literally is just Stoop Kid. That's it.
So basically his whole purpose in life is to sit on that stoop.
Yep.
Lucky bastard.
Not so lucky, as eventually Arnold figures out that this Jack Spicer wannabe is just afraid to leave his stoop, which eventually the neighborhood kids find out about, and much like the neighborhood kids of Elwood City, they bring him nothing but shame and ridicule.
God, maybe we should make a video of who's the bigger group of asshole of children.
That's going on the list.
This whole episode is one of the first times we see Arnold work his oblong-headed magic and fix someone else's life.
Not only that, but this episode has some of the best forms of character interaction this series is known for. We're shown how Arnold really isn't like the other kids who just point and laugh at someone else's expense, but rather he sees the good in people and just wants to help anyone any way he can.
Well, to be fair, that was easily shown to us in the Eugene episode where he broke his bike, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But alas, all that glitters truly is gold, and this episode truly does hold a special spot in our hearts for a Hey Arnold episode, and we're giving it the best Hey Arnold episode of Season 1.
Did you guys like all that good stuff in the last episode? Well, this episode offers none of that.
I think this episode actually takes away from the series somehow. Just watch.
You've brought me another trinket from the world above. Good rat. Faithful rat. Now get out of here.
I bet you weren't expecting this episode, huh? Nessa, quick, tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of this episode.
I actually forgot this episode existed until we looked at the wiki and then you explained it to me.
Exactly. This episode was so forgettable, and I honestly never even remember seeing this episode in a rerun at all. The premise of this episode is that Arnold's grandpa asks him to pick up his beloved pocket watch from the cleaners and about taking responsibility and being responsible and that no one knows anything about responsibility anymore. And on the way back from the cleaners, Arnold and his friends just have to gawk at this giant fucking hole which...
Who the hell leaves a giant fucking hole like this unguarded? Like, this isn't even kids being little shits and breaking the rules. There's just nothing here to keep out jack shit.
Well, you're not wrong. But the biggest piece of what the fuck in this episode is the poor excuse of a pocket Arnold uses. I mean, it just looks like he tucked it into his shirt. Anyway, the watch falls into the hole and Arnold and Gerald decide to go and find it and stumble upon the active Tumblr user by the name of the Sewer King. Wait, wasn't that one of your old screen names, Nessa?
No, it was Pussy Destruction 69.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, this shitfuck who somehow has been able to survive down here for God knows how long decides to keep the watch because it makes him royalty or some shit, and Arnold decides to play him in chess to win it back.
Yeah, but after this bullshit, the real conflict arises when Arnold decides, fuck it, I'm a privileged white boy, and he assaults the Sewer King and steals his shit. After nearly getting caught on the escape out of the sewers, Arnold finally makes it back home to his grandpa, only to have...
one of the biggest fuck you happen. His grandpa drops the watch down the drain and pulls out another one out of the drawer of like 50 other watches.
Just shameful.
Fucking shameful.
Some of the problems with this episode is simply, there isn't much character for really anyone here. Yeah, sure, Hey Arnold really isn't a story-driven show, but this episode and the Sewer King himself were just so forgettable that it just didn't help at all. Honestly, I actually remember watching the whole series once on Netflix, and I fell asleep right around the time this episode came on, and when I woke up, I had to go back at least 5 episodes to get back to where I was, because that episode just put me straight to sleep.
He's not even fuckable. That's the worst part.
Yes, that is the worst thing about all of this. The weirdest thing is that the Sewer King wasn't even a one-off character.
He wasn't?
No. He actually makes a reappearance in a small book written by the creator of the series, Craig Bartlett.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
Why doesn't it?
Because you have to read it. Who the hell reads their cartoons?
Yeah, you kind of got a point there. But anyway, maybe it's because of how forgettable this episode was is the reason why we just don't see it any longer on TV. And, well, I am personally fine with not seeing it anymore, and giving it the title of Hey Arnold's worst episode of Season 1.
La-di freaking da.
Thanks for watching, guys, and feel free to leave a comment. Do you agree with us in our list? Were there any episodes of Season 1 that were worse or better that you can think of? What are your views on politics and the price of shit in Hot Topic and other urban retailers?
Why does that matter?
Don't you just want an excuse to complain and beg for stuff you can't afford?
Do I need an excuse?
Good point. Anyway, let us know what you think and hear us complain about stuff that we want but we just can't have. Until next time, guys.